team.
We're the 355.
I first wanted to ask you if you saw Spider-Man before we get to talking about this movie.
I have not. I actually have not. Yeah. For me, it's a tough thing, but I get there. I do make it.
Is that what it is? He's tough to watch, right?
It's just, I noticed in the trailer that he's wearing the mask less and less. And it just, I deal with it better when I just see the Spider-Man as a whole.
So maybe for the next film, I was wondering if you were going to show up in it.
Well, that's the problem. You know, they don't call, they don't write.
When are we going to see you in another MCU movie? Is it going to be sooner or later? Wakanda Forever?
I haven't known the answer to that question since 2010. No. It's still going.
Or are you being like an Andrew Garfield? No, they haven't called. They haven't called. And then you're all over it.
Thanks for spoiling the film.
Oh my gosh. So I loved this film. And I know the last time that you worked with Jessica was on The Martian. How did that call go when she called you? Because I know with some of the actresses, she said, what kind of role do you want to play? Did she do that with you? Or did she just say, hey, buddy, you're in this film? It
was great because she called and said, look, I want to do this movie and I want it to be a unique experience and I want it to be about the actors and I want the actors and the creative team to just really come up with the story. And here's what we got so far. Go and have a conversation with Simon Kinberg, the writer director, and then see what you think. And I think you could play this role. And then with Simon, it was really great because it was very collaborative, and that's how it was for the rest of the shoot. We were all encouraged to sort of bring whatever we wanted to bring to the characters, and as a result, I think the whole film developed. But it was a really uniquely collaborative experience.
Can I just say that you and Jessica have so much chemistry on screen? Can you compare your chemistry between, because you've said that you and Mackie are very opposite and that works.
I hope you mention this to Jessica when you interview her. I think
that's all I talked about.
Nice for her to get that feedback.
That's all I said.
Oh, great. She's always been one of my favorite actors. And again, she's very committed and she really shows up and she loves acting. She loves characters and like sinking her teeth into it and is super dedicated. And so that only motivates me. Usually when I'm around somebody like that, then I get excited and I want to get in there. And then when you have those two people kind of coming together, then I feel like you can have something special and different. And I feel the same way about Anthony. I loved a lot of movies that he's done before he even joined the MCU. And again, it's like once you see something works and there's enough trust there between you, then you kind of start guessing each other's moves, and that's when it becomes super fun.
And then do you have to stay unpredictable?
And then and then you have to somehow find a way to surprise them and keep them on their toes.
So I think you mentioned, and this sort of surprised me, that you got to do types of action in this movie that you've never done before. How was that? And can you talk about that?
Well, we had this period of month-long training beforehand, and I thought that always helps when you have, and a lot of times you don't get that time, and because then you can go on the day and then you take whatever you've rehearsed and you can sort of improvise a little bit around it. Yeah, there was a different level of sort of rawness and brutality to the sequences that we were learning that it just was different for me, and so I embraced that.
I don't like to harp on the fact that this is primarily a female cast. I don't like to sort of, broadcast it. I think it should just be the norm. But how was the energy? How did it compare? And I know you've mentioned that the 355 could take down Winter Soldier. What is his weakness that they're exploiting?
Well, the vibe was things just get done. They just get done a lot faster, a lot more effectively, and generally everything runs a lot better and smoother. But other than that, how did the 355 take down the Winter Soldier?
I think you mentioned it in somebody else you were talking to. I think it was Comic-Con. You were like, oh, they could take down Winter Soldier for sure. How are they taking him down?
I mean, probably by just having a conversation and just saying, buddy, it's okay, We've all been vulnerable at one point or another. You can be vulnerable too. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be creative about it. But you're laughing, so it's working.
It was brilliant. That was a great answer. Are you kidding?
Because Winter Soldier doesn't really, a lot of his problems were like not confronting his past and not talking about his emotions and things. And I feel like he could use a little bit of that.
Winter Soldier's problem have been solved by the women of the 355. I love this. Before I let you go, I have to ask, I'm obsessed. First of all, I love when you're talking about Anthony Mackie and his projects. I loved Monday. I loved Endings, Beginnings. I love.
Oh, thank you for seeing that.
But I love all the different choices that you've made as an actor. And now I cannot wait to see Pam and Tommy. I mean, I am beyond. How wild is it? Like, can you just tease anything about it? I know it's coming out soon.
Well, February 2nd on Hulu. Listen, it's a wild story to look back on and re-examine, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean, I was very young. I was still in Romania when that happened, right? It was like 94, 95, or 96, 97. But I think over the years, people have heard things about it, or they feel like they know what happened, or, the media and the audience is culprits, all kind of threw their point of views on it and said what they said about it, and there's actually a lot to the story that I feel like we don't know, and we're we're in a place now where we're looking back and kind of looking at our perspectives of it then and now, as it's still a very relevant, timely story, and so I'm excited for people to see it, we did the best we could.
What is your personal #1 spy skill? What quality do you have that you think is the most stealth?
I guess actors to some extent have to learn how to, pretend, and I suppose spies and undercover agents have to do that. So hopefully some of the acting skills would help me out. But